Hey guys, it's Luke, founder of Back 9 PT and Performance. Today what I want to talk a little bit more about is strengthening the hips after we've improved some of your mobility. So I know we've already went over a lot of ways we can work on hip internal rotation for mobility. So this could be 90-90s, hip airplanes, lift-offs. All of those things are great to begin getting the motion back into the hip joint itself, even some of the lacrosse ball work if we know we had some tissue restrictions. But the key is we can't stop there. What we have to do next is strengthen and work on stability through the hip into that internal rotation, which is going to be more of how it's actually utilized in the golf swing. So what we're going to go over today are a few of my favorite exercises that we can work on getting into that hip for mainly internal rotation, so that we can actually strengthen it in a more functional way that's going to help you use it on the golf course and improve kind of the ability to actually load into your hips. So check these out, let me know what you think. The first exercise that we're going to do today is called a star row. So what you're going to see is that we work on internal rotation of the hip that is down on the ground as we kind of reach across and create the star. We're going to start without any resistance, but as it gets easier, we can even add some with like a pulley or with a band. So we're going to go into this like modified kind of side plank position. Then what I'm going to do is reach out and then pull back. So I'm here and then here. So when I'm out here, I'm working internal rotation of this down hip. When I come out, we're kind of getting out of that. So we're loading in, exploding out. So again, we can start with just a few reps on each side, maybe 5 to 10. And of course, we would try it on the other side to work both. And you may notice one side is a lot easier than the other. Like for me, this side feels a lot easier than the other. But the key that is when we get kind of here is I want that pelvis and butt buckle kind of pointed down at an angle to the floor so that we're truly get into that hip internal rotation on that bottom leg. Now this exercise is going to be the RDL, kind of in a kickstand position, focusing on hip internal rotation. So I'm going to get almost in a split stance again, and what I'm going to do here is think about dropping that kettlebell towards my toe and then coming back. So here and then back. I'm really going to feel that in this lead side when I'm going into that hip internal rotation and then back. If you see it from the side here, I'm kind of going here and then back up. What I don't want to see is that curve in the low back. So remember to keep that in a good position. Just load in, then back, in and back. Again, we're working into that glute to improve hip internal rotation for our golf swing. On this one, we can start with maybe 6 to 8 reps on each side and just pick a weight that's challenging, but nothing crazy. What we can also do is, if you're struggling with that, is get a wall, do the foam roll between here and the wall, and then you can even just kind of focus on that little movement to get that going. Or sometimes I'll utilize that as kind of a warm up before a round. So check that one out. Let me know what you think. This exercise is going to be the Bulgarian split squat with a more hip internal rotation focus. So again, we've already been working on your mobility itself. Now we need to strengthen and stabilize into those new ranges so you can use them in your swing. Here I'm just going to have a medicine ball that I'm kind of holding so that I can focus on the control that I'm wanting to do into my leg itself. So I get into the position here. What I'm going to do is load down in and then come out. So in, out. So when I'm down here, I'm really loading and rotating into the internal rotation, and then I like to even turn out of it. So this may take a minute for your players to be able to stabilize into, but it's a great one to kind of really work on that stability and control through a good full range of motion. We definitely do on both sides, and then you can kind of compare. If one side tends to be more stable than the other, requiring a little bit more like focus and control. Again, these aren't meant to be high volume, so I would try to stay in the 6 to 8 rep range and just really focus on loading into the hip and working those legs out. So again, give those a try and let me know what you think.